Hey everyone, how you doing? This is Amon Green, Green Bay Packers all-time leader in rushing, and you're watching Packers Total Access Live, your daily source for Packer content. Go Pack, go!
What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on Packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. We are finally here. We made it to game day on this glorious Monday, November the 10th. One of the matchups everybody's been looking forward to here in the 2025 season, as the Packers are going to host on Monday Night Football the reigning Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. This is about as close to a push as Vegas has had all year long. It started at 2.5-point favorites for the Packers. It's now dwindled down to 1.5. Some have it at 1. I'm sure you could tease that a little bit in either direction as well, depending on which site you guys use. I wanted to take a few minutes here, as Chris, the casual Ian said here in the chat. He said, Clayton, you must have that itch for ball. Man, it feels like this game is never going to get here, right? So obviously we're going to have the pregame show kick off at 5:45 p.m. Central Time, okay? And we're going to dive into what this game means. We'll talk about the matchups, any late scratches, that type of thing, that players that may or may not be playing. I think I heard Nolan Smith will be playing if Adam Schefter's information was correct, and it usually is. So we'll have all that information for you guys and gals leading up to kickoff. What I wanted to do here, I was just kind of combing through the tape, right? Combing through the film, if you will. And I was looking and going, okay, Luke Musgrave, right? You guys know since Tucker Kraft took over after Luke Musgrave got hurt, the common theme has been Musgrave has underperformed. Musgrave's underperformed. Well, he's also being asked to play a different role in this offense since Tucker Kraft just kind of took that job and never gave it back. So I know I've been as guilty as anyone and looking at Musgrave like, well, okay, he's underperformed. He's a bust, right? Now, you won't hear me say bust, but, we expected a little bit more out of him being a second-round pick and Tucker Kraft being a third-round pick and run away with that job. But the reality is in Matt LaFleur's offense, guys, it's two different positions. It truly is. So when you're asked to take a back seat as the number 2 tight end in that offense, you're not going to be the focal point like they wanted to use Kraft. Now, you'll notice with Kraft, they used him underneath leak routes, and they would get him the ball quick and let him use his yak ability, breaking tackles. Not that he can't attack downfield, but that's kind of been his bread and butter, is using him on chip blocks, dropping him underneath, and then letting him run over DBs essentially, right? In some cases, linebackers. So with that being said, I went back and watched the tape with Musgrave. So I went back to his rookie year. I went back to 2023 where he was the tight end 1, right? And, man, I was pleasantly surprised. And I remember him being effective at times, but not to this level. So again, is he going to be Tucker Kraft? No. He's not going to be a guy who's going to run through people's faces, but he is going to be a guy with a different set of skill sets, longer stride length. I don't want to say better hands. Tucker Kraft really worked on his hands, and he became an excellent receiver, right, at the tight end position. But he's going to be able to do things that maybe Tucker isn't as good at in stretching the field both vertically and also on crosser routes, right? So we're going to dive into the tape. I went back and watched every one of his snaps, and I just pulled a few key plays. So we're going to talk a little Luke Musgrave here early, and then we'll also jump into Micah Parsons. Actually, we'll probably lead off with Micah Parsons. One thing that's been swept under the rug is Micah Parsons has played really, really well against Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. Obviously, they used to be in the NFC East with the Cowboys. They would play him twice a year. And the reality is Jalen Hurts has Micah Parsons has sacked Jalen Hurts 4 times in the last 2 seasons. So he's been very effective at bringing Jalen Hurts down. You guys know Jalen Hurts being a scrambling quarterback. Sometimes people, they kind of, what's the right way of saying this here? They don't really match his speed as well as they expected to, right? Because Jalen Hurts is a very fast, mobile quarterback. He can throw the football too. If you don't believe me, turn on the tape this year. He's been very, very effective throwing the football. But most teams, they kind of underestimate his speed, his ability to scramble. With Jalen Hurts, when he plays Micah, it's almost like he realizes, okay, I can't just tuck the ball and run because that dude runs a 4.3 40, right? And Micah Parsons is a freak in that regard, being a speed rusher. So I think that's going to come into play a little bit tonight. Now, will it be enough for the Packers to get the dub? I hope so. But we're going to dive into those sacks specifically as well, along with the Luke Musgrave tape here real quick. But before we do, if you guys would do that YouTube stuff for me, hit like, hit subscribe. If this is your first time tuning into PTA, welcome. Thank you for making us a part of your game day festivities. We're not experts. We're not insiders. We're not media. We're going to break down tape. That doesn't mean I'm a football guru. I'm a fan just like you out here talking Packers on the daily. So if you're looking for that type of content, make sure you hit subscribe and click that bell icon so you're notified when we go live here in the future. I know the chat is already lit up. Appreciate everybody jumping in here. Far too many to mention all. But let's just dive into it, man. Let's waste no time here, okay? First things first, Micah Parsons. Like I had mentioned, I put a tweet out. I watched some of the tape with him. I went back and watched all of his snaps against the Philadelphia Eagles the last 3 seasons, I believe it was. I know I got 2 seasons. I think it started the 3rd season. But nonetheless, Micah Parsons sacked Jalen Hurts 4 times in the last 2 seasons, averaging 1 per game. Excited to see these two continue their rivalry tonight. Get your damn popcorn ready. I'm going to go 75 speed, so if it seems a little slow, that's why, just so we can break this down. But let's watch this first clip. As you see Micah lining up on the edge, some would call it a 9, a 7, whatever you want to call it. He's out wide here on this particular snap. Now, you see they're also mugging in the middle a bit, right? So they've got, looks like a couple backers up in the A-gap mugging. They've got a down lineman here playing a 4 eye tech on the inside shoulder of the tackle. And then they've also got a nickel back, it looks like here, a corner, a DB, a star, looking to blitz off of Micah Parsons' hip pocket as well. If I remember correctly, this is a TE stunt. So notice the defensive lineman is actually going to shoot into the tackle, walk him outside, and allow Micah to loop back around. This is called a TE stunt. Let's roll the tape. Watch Micah. Jab step outside. 97 gets the guard to commit. Now he's going to attack the tackle. And now you see the extension on the guard trying to shove the defensive lineman out of the way. Everybody looking for work. And now Micah's going to loop all the way back around, work around, takes out his own guy, get the hell out, get off the train tracks when the train's coming through, right, boys? And then Micah is going to flush Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts realizes right here, okay, let me get out. No, that's Micah. You're going to see him just kind of lay down like, okay, he's got me. It's over, right? So again, what you see with Micah Parsons is him matching Jalen Hurts' speed. You know, think of it this way too. It's ironic. It's the Eagles. You guys remember the playoff game in 2009, 2010 season when we won the Super Bowl, that first playoff game against the Philadelphia Eagles we played on the road. I remember specifically Clay Matthews going up against Michael Vick, who was their quarterback that game, if I remember correctly, and him running down Michael Vick on a scrambling play, and he was screaming at Michael as he was running him down. He was screaming at Mike Vick, "I've got your speed, Vick. I've got your speed," right? Micah Parsons is just as fast, probably faster than Jalen Hurts. That doesn't mean he's going to dominate tonight. It doesn't mean the Eagles are going to lose this game. What it means is Jalen Hurts is very, very aware, having played him multiple times. If I try to tuck the ball and scramble, number 1 for the Packers, number 11 here for the Cowboys in this instance, is going to have his eyes on me all night long. It's going to be a little less, easy, I guess you could say, a little more difficult to get out of the pocket and scramble away from a Micah Parsons. Let's watch this rep. Once again, on the outside edge, you see they're mugging the gaps again. Everything you're seeing on tape here with the way Micah played might see a little bit of coffee house look, and especially with coffee house, obviously it's a double A-gap mug. Some people called it double barrel. Back in the day of the Dom Capers defense, I know A.J. Hawk called it double barrel. But if you mug that A-gap, that deters them from running inside a little bit as well, right? So even whether you're dropping those guys out on simulated pressure or not, I wouldn't be surprised if you see some what we call, Jeff Hafley calls coffee house looks, where you got the stack backers mugging the A-gaps tonight. And again, what you're doing is you're trying to isolate blocks for Micah. Let's watch this play. Outside, he's going to kind of take it. It's almost like he's set up for a bull rush, and then he's just going to stop on a dime, work back inside, and now look at Jalen looking down the field, right? He thinks, okay, where's my receiver? Where's my receiver? And now he's got Micah right in his face, okay? And I think this is a strip sack, if I remember correctly. Let's see how Micah finishes, grabs and punches the ball out. The ball is on the turf right now. This official sees his life flash before his eyes with all these guys running at him, right? So ball's out, strip sack, number 35 recovers it. I think he was down by contact on about the 6-yard line. But again, Micah causing a strip sack there on Jalen Hurts. All right, next play. You see here, if I can take it back just a touch, I apologize. Micah once again lining up on the outside. He's on the inside shoulder of a flex Y tight end. But on the outside shoulder, obviously he's working outside of the tackle. Once again, they've got somebody playing the 3 tech on his side. You're forcing a single block. Now, maybe the Y will chip him. We'll see when we roll the tape. You're also mugging the B gap over here. You're kind of lining up over the guard with another, it looks like a stack backer. You've got another edge defender, 2 edge defenders on this side lined up. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to get them to play mano a mano, right? One-on-one blocking so you can get a single up matchup for Micah Parsons. Let's watch what he does here. This time, just going to work with the hands. Look at the use of the hands, guys. Just smack the hands away. Now he rushes past, right? But going to come back and clean this thing up as Jalen Hurts was looking to evade that sack. Again, what you're seeing is hand usage, right? You're seeing hand usage. You're seeing speed on the outside. And you're seeing Micah Parsons finish the freaking play. Great sack there of Jalen Hurts as well. This is what you're going to want to see tonight, guys. Now, hopefully we get some one-on-one matchups for Micah Parsons. Now, notice we've been showing a lot of Joker looks too, right? We've been going Joker 3-3-5, Joker 1-3-3-5, which is essentially 3 defensive linemen. Micah's playing stack backer, but he's essentially blitzing the A to B gap right behind the nose tackle. You may get a little bit of that in there tonight as well. You can kind of accomplish the same thing you did here that Micah did when he was in Dallas against Philly, because what's going to happen is when you're rushing as that Joker, right? It's almost like a green dog blitz, but you're not manned up on any of the backs in the backfield. So it's kind of a delayed blitz. So ball snap, the rush begins to evolve. Jalen Hurts looks at the number 1 read. If it's not there, as he works to the 2, he's feeling the pressure around him. Then all of a sudden you see Micah Parsons staring you down, almost like a spy situation, but he's already on his way to the quarterback. Hopefully we see some of that. So next rep, you see him way out here in a wide 9 look, right? In this case, they've got 3 down linemen, it looks like, right? Opposite of Micah. Let's watch him work off the edge here. So it's just going to be straight power bull rush. Pushes the tackle right back into Jalen Hurts. So you've seen a TE stunt where he jabs out, works in, right? You've seen him use the hands and speed around the edge. You've seen him finish relentless on one play where he wasn't even the guy who made the initial contact. And now you're seeing just a straight bull rush pushing. I'm pretty sure that's Lane Johnson. He just pushes him. Yeah, that was Lane Johnson, all-pro right tackle. Micah Parsons, we talk about him being a speed rusher, but boy, oh boy, can he play with power too. I mean, he just drives Lane Johnson right back in to Jalen Hurts' lap. That's the type of stuff you're going to want to see tonight if you're going to get pressure on Jalen Hurts. And again, pressure pick, coverage sack. They've done an excellent job this year protecting the football, the Eagles have. So you're going to really have to up your game if you're going to want to get pressure on Jalen Hurts. So again, that's just a quick look at Micah Parsons and how he could potentially play a role in tonight's game. We'll see how Jeff Hafley decides to attack them in that regard. All right, let's move on now to Luke Musgrave. Another guy I've been watching the tape today, and we kind of talked about it at the top of the show here. I said in the tweet, people forget that before Tucker Kraft took over at tight end, Luke Musgrave was a big focal point of the Packers offense. Really excited to see how he responds to the opportunity tonight. Here's a handful of the plays he made as a rookie in 2023. All right, so let's just jump into it. We'll go 75 on it as well, so it may look a little slow. It's because we're slowing it down on purpose. So here you've got a set. This is bunch nasty X. Notice you got the bunch set at the bottom. You got the X and the nasty split up top. Everybody is in a nasty split, and you're in sidecar right. So this is one of those plays I really like that you could run weak side if they decide to overload to the right, and you see they've done that here. But Musgrave playing what I call the U position, okay? So even though Tucker predominantly played Y, right? There was many times this year that you've seen him playing U, and they would put Fitzpatrick on the line of scrimmage. In this case, I think this is Ben Sims right here, I believe. So nonetheless, you're going to see Tucker, if Musgrave is just as comfortable at playing U as he is Y, don't get too caught up in those two positions, because Matt LaFleur can he can doll that up, give you some window dressing, and whether it's the Y or the U, you can still get to the end point that he wants here, right? Let's watch the route and kind of key in on what he's doing. This is what Tucker's done all year, right? Just a little leak route, a little jab step, leak out to the flat. And you see here, Musgrave taking what the defense gives him, right? That's what Tucker Kraft's done well. But his only thing is Tucker Kraft probably wouldn't go out of bounds right here, right? He's going to try to run through a DB's face. And sometimes that's good. Sometimes that's bad. Sometimes it can lead to a fumble. I know I love it when Tucker Kraft just runs right through defenders. But in this case, you see Musgrave, he can do that. He can work the flat underneath if you need him to. He's got the athleticism to do it. All right, next play. Let's start off with the set here. This is in Denver. Nasty splits again. It almost looks like a bunch nasty look, right? Now you'll notice that the X receiver opposite the tight end on this side, probably Romeo, he's actually lined up in a wide split. He's not quite to the sideline like a Baylor split, but he's definitely outside of the numbers, so it's not nasty, just a normal split, right? And then you've got Musgrave this time on the line of scrimmage. So he's actually playing the Y spot here, and there's someone else that's playing the U or the wing. Unless it's a receiver, we would just call it wing. But if it is a tight end, a second tight end, it's a U, right? And then, of course, I think this is Christian Watson you got playing field side Z, okay, speed Z, what we refer to as speed Z. So let's watch Musgrave on this route. All right, so he's going to work up the seam, and it's going to be a crosser, right? So look right here. Jordan's already stepping up and looking for him, and you see Musgrave, the stride length, kind of separate a little bit, make the play in the hole, absorb the hit. They actually caught a flag there because the guy led with his helmet, and it should have been a flag. He led with the crown of the helmet. But nonetheless, what have you seen? Musgrave on a flat leak, and now you're seeing him on a crosser to the boundary side, the short side of the field. Now you're thinking, why would you run a crosser to the boundary side of the field when you got all that space on the field side? Matt LaFleur loves working the boundary because typically defenses will tilt towards the field side. Okay, so that's why you like to work the boundary from time to time. Now, if you get a defense that shows, hey, look, they're not afraid to really, really pinch or squeeze the boundary side of the field, then you can open up the playbook to work field side. But love the crosser coming from the field side to the boundary, whether it's the U or the Y that Musgrave is playing. All right, next play. This is against the Rams. Notice here they're in a twin left look. Okay, so they got two wide receivers, split left. This is a nasty look out of the gun, okay? So this is what you would call 12 gun nasty, right? Strong right or twin left. But you see Musgrave is playing Y here. Tucker Kraft playing the U, okay? So he's on the line of scrimmage. Luke Musgrave is playing the Y. Let's watch him here. Let's see. Again, what have we seen so far? A flat and a crosser, right? Now you're going to see him stretch upfield. Lo and behold, it's another crosser. Find the or a climb route, right? Some people call them crossers, some people call them climbs. They call them climbs because it may not have the depth of a normal crosser. You're just working, you're climbing to the open spot, right, of the field. And you see, this looks like it's pretty well covered up, right? Jordan throwing with anticipation because of that catch radius of Luke Musgrave, puts it a little high, so Musgrave can't really catch it and run. I know the running joke for Musgrave is he can't stay on his feet. I got you. I understand it's funny and everything. But there were many times where the ball could have been put in a better place when Jordan Love's first year as a starter that he could have caught it and ran with it. Now, there's many times, too, that Musgrave caught the ball and just fell down. I got you, right? But in this case, just possess the catch. And that's what he does. Catches the football, goes down, protects himself. Nice little gain on a crosser. So what have we seen now? A flat and two crossers. Next play, we're going to go gun, Trey Wright is what they break the huddle with, right? Which is three targets to the right, one of which is a tight end. They're going to motion the F to the left here. So we're going orbit F here. All right. So you see him motion over orbit F. Now let's watch Musgrave. I love this play. We were actually talking about this a couple nights ago on PTA. Look, they're going to, with that orbit motion, they're going to fake the swing pass there. So they're going to fake a swing here to the bottom of the screen. They're also got a swing pass to the right. And watch what happens. They fake this one. This one's setting up. The backer's already going with the swing pass, right? And then watch what ends up happening. Look at the backers completely bite, and it's a leak down the seam to Musgrave, right? So it's almost like a double pump fake, even though you didn't fake the second, the second pump fake, you didn't actually pump it, and wide open down the seam. Listen, this is what I'm talking about with Musgrave. The people that are concerned, listen, Tucker Kraft is one of my favorite players, all right? He is. And we're going to miss him dearly. But some of the stuff we asked the tight ends to do that Tucker has had a whole lot of success with this year, and even to this point back in 2023, guys, there's not a tight end in the league that can't catch that ball, right? We don't need Musgrave to go out there and all of a sudden turn into George Kittle. You just need to make the plays that are there. And this is the stuff that Matt LaFleur doesn't get credit for, scheming guys open, right? Jacob Morley on Twitter did an excellent job covering this the other day, where he pointed out, like, listen, when you look at how Tucker Kraft has gotten his yardage this year, it's not like he's creating separation. It's not like he's, running routes on a dime that's just breaking open, and that's the reason he's making these catches. Matt LaFleur is scheming this guy open. And with Christian Watson back, I'm telling you, it's only going to get better. So I'm really excited to see what Musgrave can do. He may bomb out, man. That may happen, right? That could be the case. But just based off what we've seen in 2023 and how Tucker Kraft has gotten his targets here in 2025, and even in 2024. Now, 2024, you've seen a lot more of the heater ball down the seam that Tucker made the diving catch for. You've seen him make some great catches last year. There's no doubt about it. But again, I'm not too concerned that Musgrave can't handle the load here, right? So next play, we're going to go with a bunch left look here, okay? So you see he's actually in the 2. This is what we probably call this 11-gun bunch left. Y flex 2 is what I would call it. And what that's saying is the Y is flex out wide, and he's the number 2 receiver. Count from left to right. 1, 2, 3. He's the number 2. Let's roll the tape. So you cheated over the back a little bit, trying to gather some information. Pittsburgh did not tip their hand at all. Watch Musgrave. Oh, let me just say, flat, crosser, seam, right? That's what we've seen so far. Musgrave stretching the field, down the seam. There's another seam route. Bang. Busting up that cover 2 defense, right? Beautiful route there by Musgrave. Watch him. Nothing crazy, right? Just take the seam, get your head around, make the catch, secure it. And again, people will make fun of him for stumbling here. Let's see where the ball's thrown. See how he had to kind of reach back across his body? But it's a safe throw by Jordan, not leading him into the safety up here, right? So good throw. Again, it's just, it's easy to poke fun. He can't stay on his feet. That's the right play to make right there, man. When you have to adjust back around like that, protect the freaking football. So now you've seen flat, crosser, seam. You understand what I'm doing here? We're trying to build you a visualization of the route tree, the aspect of the route tree that Matt LaFleur really liked to use Luke Musgrave on before Tucker Kraft emerged as the tight end 1, right? Here we got a Trey Wright look. Again, 3 options to the right. We're going empty, actually. This is interesting. This is what I would call empty Trey Wright load. And the reason we call it load is because the 3 targets to the right are the tight end, and then outside on that 1 is the running back. So anytime the tight end and the running back are on the same side of the field in a 3 or more look, like you've heard us say quad right load or load quad right, that means there's 4 targets to the right, and both the tight end and the running back are on that side of the field, okay? But in this case, he is flex. He's the 3, though, okay? So let's see what route he runs here. Ball snapped. Kind of looks to show the seam. Probably a choice route. It's probably a post-corner choice here. You've seen the guy bite to the inside with leverage, and then you also seen the safety hold firm down the seam, so he's going to work a corner route here. Can he do that? Yes, he can. Nice little catch. The ground caused the ball to come out there. Obviously, it wasn't a fumble. But again, now you're seeing him break out the corner route. Let's watch it one more time. Watch him stretch vertically, get the guy to commit inside, hold that inside, bang, now we're out. Great timing by Jordan Love. Great throw, great catch. So remind me again what we've seen. Flat, crosser, seam, corner. So again, you've got what is that? How many spots is that now on the route tree? I mean, the crosser ain't even on the traditional route tree. You've got 3 routes covered on the route tree so far, plus the crosser or the climb, right? So he can do that as well. All right, next play. This is in the playoff game. You guys remember this. This is what we call dragon wheel. Some people call it wagon wheel. And I asked the guy one time, why would you call it wagon wheel? He said, because you're wagging the tail. And I'm like, that's not the same spelling. He's like, shut up. That's just what we call it. So with the dragon wheel, you're going to see a heavy play fake. He's going to leak out on a wheel route. So he's going to come across on a drag and a wheel route. That's why we called it dragon wheel. So you're looking, there's 4 windows to hit this play on, okay? When we roll the tape here, you're going to see him drag across. First window early in the drag, second window late in the drag, first window if they're playing with the safety over the top, first window of the wheel route, and then the second window of the wheel route. Now you're going to see Jordan sell the hell out of this play fake, right? This is in the playoff game. Sell it, boot over, and now we're going to throw back. Look at this, butt naked through the trailer park. This is what I'm talking about. All of these routes we've shown you guys and gals, there's nothing that Musgrave's doing here. You're going, oh man, a great or just a good or average tight end can't do that, right? It's the same thing with Tucker Kraft and his tape. Like, you're not asking them to go out there and do anything extravagant, right? This is Matt LaFleur scheming the Y open, scheming the U open. He does it as well as any coach in the league, and I'm expecting it to not, to be honest with you. Now, if Fangio goes with his traditional quarters match coverage, you can really get some of these late developing things bust open. And you're probably going, Clayton, are we going to have time to throw the football, sit in the pocket and throw it that long? The Eagles' pass rush has struggled this year. They're getting Nolan Smith back, it sounds like, according to Adam Schefter. We'll see if that holds firm. But they've got one of their pass rushes has not been good this year. Jalen Carter's been banged up. He's not played well all year long. Their edge defenders haven't played nowhere near what our edge defenders have. If you looked at just strictly the tape, you looked at the statistics, you looked at the health, you would definitely go, okay, positions of importance tonight. The edge position, right? We have Micah Parsons on one side, Rashawn Gary on the other. They're both healthy, to the best of my knowledge, right? So that compared to their edge defenders, Green Bay has the advantage. Now let's go to the interior. I would say they have the advantage in the interior with Jordan Davis, who's obviously dropped a lot of weight. He's done some stuff different this year. He's in the best shape that he's been since he came in the league. Huge hog molly from Georgia. You guys remember us talking about him in the draft. And Jalen Carter, who was an absolute beast his rookie year, took a step back last year and has taken an even bigger step back this year, although he's been banged up. Maybe he's as healthy today as he's been all year. But regardless, the point there is they may have the advantage at defensive tackle because who do we have, right? We've got Devontae Wyatt. And, of course, we like to play our cheetah package. I think the cheetah package might go on the shelf a little bit because Philly does like to try to establish the run. But I think I would give them the advantage at defensive tackle, to be honest with you. Even though those guys are playing down a little bit this year, Jalen Carter is. So we have the advantage at edge. They have the advantage at defensive tackle. That's a push on defense, right? Move over to the offensive side of the ball. Who has the better quarterback? I'm probably going to catch some heat for this, okay? I love Jordan Love. Love him. You guys know I think he is the franchise quarterback. I've been very vocal about that. However, Jalen Hurts playing better football than Jordan Love this year, in my opinion, okay? That may change tonight. Jordan's playing great. Jalen Hurts this is some of the best ball we've seen Jalen Hurts play. If I had to give an advantage to the quarterback position tonight, I would say the way Jalen Hurts is playing right now, I'd give him the slot advantage right now. I know some people are going to hear that and they're going to go, but Clayton, we haven't had Christian Watson. We don't have our number one receiver in Jaden Reed. We got a rookie wide receiver stepping in. He's got Devonta Smith. He's got A.J. Brown. Those are great points. But again, are we going to base the quarterback off of the targets he's got to throw to or how they've actually played the game, right? So I would have to give the slot advantage to Jalen Hurts tonight, but that may change, man. Jordan may come out guns blazing. And if he does, boy, oh boy, it's going to be a fun game to watch, right? So I would get the slot advantage there. Move to the tackles. They've got Lane Johnson and Mailata, right? Two of the best tackles in the game. Who are our tackles? Rasheed Walker. I think he's a good but not great tackle. And you got Zach Tom, who I think is an elite tackle, me personally. Okay. So it's close to a push, but I'd have to give them the advantage at the tackle position. Those are why you're probably saying, why are you talking about edge, D tackle, offensive tackle, and quarterback? Those are my positions of tier one importance. So when you look at those four positions, right, those four spots, those four, groupings of players, it's a push on defense, and I feel like they've got the slot advantage on offense. Now, that sounds like the Eagles are going to probably win this game, right? We'll see. You got to go out there and do it, right? When the lights come on, it's like Mike Tyson always said, everybody's got to play until they get punched in the mouth. I'm excited to see how Hafley plays this game. Can he neutralize their offensive passing attack? And can we do it in a way that you're not hindering your run defense too much to where Saquon could break off and have a big game, because Saquon struggled this year too. Their running game is down this year, okay? Is that the league really keying in on what they like to do last year? The problem with that is if that's how teams have been playing them in the first half of the season, guess what's coming? The adjustment. Are we ready for that adjustment? It's going to be a great game, guys. It's going to be a great game. I know the rhetoric out there on Twitter right now, and especially with the mainstream media, they want to make everything about the tush push, and they want to make everything about, boy, if the Packers lose tonight, their season's over. Could not be further from the truth. Couldn't be. I'll just say it this way. If the Packers win tonight, does that mean the Eagles season's over? Well, no, it doesn't. If the Dolphins were to have won yesterday, spoiler alert, they did, over the Buffalo Bills, they beat them by, what was it, 3 scores? Almost 3 scores if it wasn't 3 scores. And here, the Bills were sitting at a similar record as the Packers. Does that mean the Bills season's over? No, it don't. And that's with the Patriots leading their division, right? And playing some of the best football in the league. The point is, the people that want to root against the Packers, some in the fan base, might I add, they're going to try to make this sound like if the Packers drop this game to the Eagles, the season's over. And it couldn't be further from the truth. This game tonight is going to be exactly what we think it is. It's two, I think the Eagles are a great team. They've proven it by winning the Super Bowl. Okay. I think the Packers are a good to great team. They get the youngest roster in the league. They're getting a little bit healthier, in my opinion. Some people look at the injury report and go, what are you talking about? I think they're as healthy as they've been in a long time, me personally. Sucks losing Tucker Kraft, but the key positions, I feel like you're as healthy as you've been in a while. I think it's going to be two really good teams going at it, and these two teams may meet up again in the playoffs later on this year, right? And people forget that we played the Eagles as good, if not better, than anyone did in the playoffs last year. So I like our chances. I really do. I really like our chances. We need Lambeau to be loud. We need it to be rowdy. And we need the Packers to go out there and play fundamentally sound football, protect the football, because the Eagles, they are first in red zone scoring efficiency, touchdowns only, okay? The Packers defense is one of the worst red zone defenses, okay? So if they're going to maximize their opportunities, they being the Eagles, their opportunities to score in the red zone, and the Packers struggle with that, we've got to elevate that aspect of our game. We've got to do that. And the other thing the Eagles are really good at, they're actually best in the league, is not giving the ball away on turnovers. So what does that mean? You either need to make them give the ball up tonight, whether it's punching at the ball or picking passes off, or you got to make damn sure you protect the football on your side, right? So again, up your red zone defense in this game. You got to really stand firm and make them kick field goals, right? And then the other aspect is, like we said, protecting the football. Don't give them those giveaways, because they're probably not going to give you the ball. You want to look up at the end of the game and see that turnover differential matched or better, +1 in your favor, and takeaways. And you want to make sure that they're having to kick field goals and not getting those touchdowns, that they're getting at like 85% a clip or something like that. So that's what I'm excited about. That's what I'm excited about in this game. Again, it doesn't mean the season's over if they lose to the Eagles. It doesn't mean we're the best team in the league if we go out there and beat the Eagles by 30 points, right? That's going to be the other narrative. And ironically, it's the same people who are going to try to paint a picture that the Packers suck if they lose this game. They're going to try to make it also sound like they're the best team in the league if they win it, right? Neither of those things are true. It's never as bad as you think it is. It's never as good as you think it is. You got to stay even keel with that stuff for sure. Caterpillar in the chat says, Clayton, are you guys going live again tonight before the game or just post game? We will be doing a pregame show. The link is already created. We're good to go there. We'll be going live at 5:45 p.m. Central for the pregame show. We'll get you all the actives, inactives. We'll give you live shots from Lambeau Field, and we'll take you right up to kickoff, okay? And then immediately following the game, we'll be doing a post-game show. You're probably going, well, why are you going live right now, Clayton? My wife's wondering the same thing. She's downstairs with lunch, extremely pissed off. But like Chris said earlier, man, I'm just ready for football. I want to get in here and watch a little tape. Been watching tape the last 24 hours. I want to get in here and talk about it a little bit. So I appreciate you guys and gals hopping in here randomly. We really, really, really appreciate y'all hanging out here with us. Let's see. Gilly, I hope I'm saying that right. Gilly Gang FPS says, Clayton, do you think you'll ever post on Spotify? This is in podcast form on Spotify. You just got to search Packernet. Matter of fact, I'm going to help you out here, bub. In the upper right, here is a QR code, or you can just search Packernet Podcast. You scan that QR code, that'll send you to Packernet Podcast. Make sure you subscribe to that wherever you get your podcast. If it is Spotify, great. Now, people have begged me to put the video version on Spotify. It's just audio only over there. I tried it one time. Listen, I have a NASA computer sitting here. Okay. I paid way too much money for this computer. You don't believe me? Ask my wife. All right. And it sat here for an hour and 15 minutes for the video to upload one time. And I'm like, I'm done with that. I'm never doing it again. Okay. So the video version you'll get on YouTube, but you do get the audio version on Spotify. And again, check out Packernet Podcast. And the reason being, forget this crappy show. There's a better show on there called Packernet Podcast by Ryan Schlip. And there's also Packernet After Dark, where you can call in and leave a voicemail. And he'll play that over the air and respond to your voicemail. So hopefully that answers your question, buddy. He says, dude, this just made my day. Thank you. Hey, appreciate you, pal. Thank you so much, man. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here before I get the paper served to me. We'll see you guys in a few hours. Like I said, 5:45 p.m. Central for PTA Live. It's going to be a cold night at Lambeau, a little chance of flurries. It's been snowing here in Tennessee all day. We love it, man. Got a fire going. Dogs laid out. They ain't worth a damn, man. They're laying right in front of the fireplace. Can't do nothing with this crew over here. But we're going to go grab some lunch. We'll see you guys in a few hours. Appreciate everybody jumping in. Hit that like button for me. Hit subscribe. Click that bell icon so you're notified when we go live here in the future. And thank you, Adam Rice. I see your comments, everybody. Thank you so much for the kind words, man. Again, we're just fans, dude. We're fans talking ball, and we really, really enjoy hanging out with y'all. That's why we go live multiple times a day, man. Can't get enough of it. So everybody have a wonderful day. We'll see you in a little bit. Take care.
There we go.
We're out. Bye, guys.